Dyutang chalayatam asmi tejas tejasvinama jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattvatamaham. I am also the gambling of cheats, and of the splendid I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Text 37. Vishninam vasudevosmi pandavanam dhananjaya muninam apyaham vyasa kavinam ushana kavi. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva. And of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyas. And among great thinkers, I am Ushana. Dando dhamayatam asmi nittirasmi jigitshatam monam taivasmi guyanam jnanam jnanavatamaham. Among punishments, I am the rod of chastisement, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am wisdom. Yach-chapi sarva-bhutanam bijam taraham arjuna natarasti vinayatsyan maya bhutam jalacharam. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. Text 40. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa esha tu deshata prokto vibhuter vistaro maya. Almighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Text 41. Yad yad vibhuti matsattvam srimad urjitameva tattva vagachatvam mama tejo mashambhavam. Know that all beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Atava bahunaitena kim vyatena tavarjuna vishtavyaham idam kritsnam ekam shinna stito jagad. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Chapter 11, the Universal Form, Text 1. Arjuna uvacha madanugrahaya param guyam adhyatma sanjitam yatvayotam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. Arjuna said, I have heard your instruction on confidential spiritual matters, which you have so kindly delivered unto me, and my illusion is now dispelled. Text 2. Mahatmyam apichavyayam. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, as realized through your inexhaustible glories. Text 3. Evam etadam atmanam parameshvara drashtum nitamite rupam aishvaram purushottamam. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see here before me your actual position, I yet wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. So one more, or is it? One more verse. Text 4. Manyasya yaritat sakyam Maya Drashtum Nito Prabhu Yogeshwara Tato Metam Arshayatmanamavyayam. You think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that universal self. Okay, back to text 36. And if Maharaj wishes to, we're very eager to hear any comments or corrections. Okay. Earlier in the chapter, text around, I think it's text 18, pretty sure. Arjuna asks Krishna to, he says, text 18. Tell me again in detail, O Janardana, Krishna, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words. So this is Arjuna's expressing the desire to hear the glories of the Lord. He wants to hear them from the mouth of the Lord himself. So that's our process. That's pure bhakti. Is that we're just trying to hear the glories of the Lord from the mouth of the Lord through his bona fide representative and through the scriptures. And so then the Lord continues and he speaks about some of his glories in the next few verses. And his opulences. And it's not that, like he says, of all the trees, I am the holy fig tree or the banyan tree. Of aquatics, I am a shark. And it's not that when we see sharks, we're enamored with their power and their sharp teeth and their ability to swim. But when we see sharks, we're enamored with the Lord's, that this is coming from him. Earlier he says, Aham sarvasya bhavavo. He's all of these, the spiritual world is emanating from him. The material worlds are emanating from him. All creations are emanating from him. And so when we see, we're being reminded that when we see this great opulence and power in the material world, that ultimately, we shouldn't be enamored with these things, but we should be reminded that they are coming from the Lord, and we can be enamored by the Lord's ability to do this. I mean, who else can do this? Nobody else can do this. He says that he's the origin of the host of sages and demigods. There's so many demigods, and they're all very, very powerful. But they're all coming from this one person, the Lord, Sri Krishna. So we can see just how powerful the Lord actually is. That he's able to do this, it's inconceivable. Okay, text 36, we can dive into the text.
I have a quote.
Yes, Maharaj.
Text 36, of all types of cheating, the greatest cheating process is gambling. So we see that, how those who set up this cheating, this gambling organization, they even had billboards in Kansas City. They said that such and such casino is giving so much money to the Board of Education in terms of taxes and things. So they're encouraging people to go there And that way you do such nice, magnificent work for the city. That means they're making your profits on your money, and they're paying taxes on it, and then you should be satisfied that the money you're giving to them, they're paying some money towards taxes. So you're actually doing benevolent service. And people don't think, I'm just getting cheated. They're taking my money and they're giving it away and they're thanking me for it in a nice way. And I'm satisfied. Or they do other nice things. Like on Friday, there's a special free meal. You can come and have a nice free meal, and you get a certain amount of chips also, if you throw in a little something. And if you just cash in your week's check, because they get on Friday. So you try to get them in Friday afternoon and get them all to spend it there. And then they have another program. They help anybody who needs a little help with their organization of what they need for their grocery shopping. The casino helps. So this is like the epitome of a wolf in a sheep's clothing. Just like a sheep, actually they're a wolf. So all this cheating, gambling going on, everywhere there's jackpots and this and that. The odds are already set. You're going to lose. But then they show billboards, they show people happy. Men and women together drinking and happy. They won. They don't show the people who spent all the money of the family, who've gambled away the whole house, the children's future education, everything gambled away. They don't show people like that. Broken man, lost everything, children crying and hungry. That's what's going on. So you just see how Krishna, this is a little sample of his expertise. Just see how he deals with the gambling institutions, see how they work, see how they think. But Krishna can outsmart all of them because he takes away all of it at death. Mritu sarvaharaschaham. I take away everything at death.
Raj. Yeah, you can't outsmart Krishna. This whole society is just cheating religion. So many things, kaitava dharma. You go to Walmart or you go anywhere and, there's some association there. There's some paraphernalia. And of course, it's satsang, you don't want to take this association. And they have a program there. They take the cart and go around and get all these things so that you can worship your body and you can worship your senses. And like this, they're instilling some need in us. Oh, you need this thing, whatever. Take it, get it, and then worship your body with it or worship somebody else's body with it. And like this, your love becomes exhausted. And so people are running around all the time, so frustrated with life because they're exerting so much time and energy into it's just a waste. It's like the whole deal is like, imagine if you confuse your bank teller for the homeless guy at the intersection and you just started depositing your paychecks to him. And you're wondering where your money's going. So what we're doing, our love, we're just depositing our love in so many places where it actually doesn't belong. And the only place it belongs is with Krishna. And like that, so you go to Walmart, you go to the casino, and they supply you everything. They give you the program, the regiment, and then you just end up frustrated with your life. But you keep going back because you don't have any knowledge. We don't have any knowledge. Higher engagements, of course. The the pure devotees and the representatives of the Lord, they're trying to engage us. But yes, so many souls walking around, they're frustrated. They think that there's no real love to be found in this world. But I'm just putting it in the wrong places, so it's lost. And meditating on the objects. So I'm going to place my love here. When I get home, and I'm going to do this, and all day meditating on these things, and it's just frustration. But like that, Krishna is cheating the cheaters. And they think that they're getting away with it, but they're being cheated. So let's go into a little bit. I am also the gambling of the cheats and of the splendid. I am the splendor. I am victory. I am adventure, and I am strength of the strong. Purport. There are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all cheating processes, gambling stands supreme and therefore represents Krishna. As the supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided, it is all-sided. Among the victorious, he is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among enterprising industrialists, he is the most enterprising. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurous. And among the strong, he is the strongest. When Krishna was present on earth, no one could surpass him in strength. Even in his childhood, he lifted Govardhan Hill. No one can surpass him in cheating. No one can surpass him in splendor. No one can surpass him in victory. No one can surpass him in enterprise, and no one can surpass him in strength. This is very nice because all of these points that Srila Prabhupada is making, they can all be backed up with evidence. There's so many, there's just a multitude of just a whole array of different evidence that can be pulled for each one of these statements that Srila Prabhupada is making here and Krishna is making here. Throughout Krishna's pastimes, we see so many examples, of course, for strengths. Srila Prabhupada, he says, he lifted Govardhan Hill. I mean, who else could do that? Among enterprising industrialists, he's the most enterprising. Well, he's the source of the whole material cosmic manifestation. And there's so many different there's an unfathomable amount of machinery and intelligence that's gone into this whole thing that's completely beyond our capacity to understand fully. Just the depth of all that's gone into it. Of course, for Krishna, Sri Krishna, he doesn't. It's nothing, but Lord Brahma, he's had to do a lot of engineering, a lot of divine austerities have gone into it, and so much intelligence has gone into it. But it's all coming from Krishna, and he hasn't really got anything to do with it. So what better system could there be? He's the most adventurous. Just read Krishna book, you'll see all about that. So many examples of that. Okay, text 37. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudev, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyas, and among great thinkers, I am Ushana. Purport. Krishna is the original supreme personality of Godhead, and Vasudev is the immediate expansion of Krishna. Both Lord Krishna and Baladev appear as the sons of Vasudeva. Among the sons of Pandu, Arjuna is famous and valiant. Indeed, he is the best of men, and therefore represents Krishna. Among the Munis, or learned men, conversant in Vedic knowledge, Vyas is the greatest because he explained Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of the common mass of people in this age of Kali. And Vyas is also known as an incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, Vyas also represents Krishna. Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the Kavis, Ushana was the spiritual master of the demons. He was extremely intelligent, far-seeing, political, and spiritual in every way. Thus, Ushana is another representative of the opulence of Krishna. So there's Vasudev and Vasudev. Vasudev is Krishna, and Vasudev is Krishna's father. I used to get confused about that, but the long A, it is indicative that Vasudev is coming from Vasudev. And Vasudev, Krishna's father, Krishna Balaram's father, is coming in the line of the Vrishnis from Maharaj Ugrasena, Krishna's grandfather. And I remember we were reading about, we were reading a lot about this actually in Garga Samhita. And Maharaj Ugrasena, if I'm not mistaken, was King Maruta. In his past life is King Maruta, who was famous for, he actually got on Indra's radar for his immense sacrifices, or his immense sacrifices. It was a massive Rajasuya or Ashwamedha sacrifice. I don't remember which one. But anyways, Indra became envious of this and started to interfere. So even the demigods, like great demigods like Indra, you know, they become envious and bewildered. So what to speak of us? We have other examples of this, like Govardhan Lila or Brahma Vimohana Lila, where Lord Brahma is, he tries to play some tricks on Krishna. But ultimately he realizes that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So all of his opulence, all of his intelligence, it's all coming from Krishna. It's all being supplied to him by Krishna. Similarly, anything we've got too is coming from Krishna. And he can also take it away, or he can supply us with more opulences if we're entrusted in that way. But ultimately, we should recognize where it's coming from, and pay our respects and engage all we've got in the service of Krishna, and like that, we'll be successful. And instead of being envious of the Lord, we can be appreciative of him, and we can be enamored by his power and his opulences. And then when we're in the face of things that might be threatening, you know, calling our mind, maybe I want money, or maybe I want power or beauty, that it won't be such a threat because I won't be so captivated by it. Oh no, oh, this is coming from Krishna, you know. So why be so captivated by this? It's only a small part of his splendor. Okay, so let's see. Okay, text 38. Among punishments, I am the rod of chastisement, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise I am wisdom. There are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down the miscreants when miscreants are punished. The rod of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important because by silence one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. We heard Krishna saying that he is Yama. And Yama is actually that agent by which the Lord actually cuts down the miscreants in this world and punishes them with the rod of chastisement. And Yamaraj is also known as Dharmaraj. And he administers various punishments to the sinners, and he administers rewards to the pious living entities, namely in the form of, sending them to the various abodes that are awaiting them according to their activities, be it the heavenly planets or the hellish planets, the different bodies that they might take, things like that, the various sufferings that they will have to endure in the hellish planets and whatnot. But ultimately, the man who's in knowledge can avoid having to meet face to face with Yama at the time of death, because he's able to discriminate that, what is the proper engagement for me? What is actually, what should I be doing? Bhagavad Dharma. We should just be hearing about and chanting the glories of the Lord with undeviated mind. And go on doing that. Remembering the Lord, worshiping the Lord, hearing about him, chanting. Those are the actual prescribed activities for all living entities. And in that state of being, he doesn't actually have to face the rod of chastisement from the Lord. There may be certain circumstances, but he doesn't have to go on taking another body and enduring this material world, birth and death, old age, disease, because that's there even in the heavenly planets where living entities get very nice bodies and very nice sense gratification. They still have to go through those things. So the man who's intelligent, he realizes, why? I'm an eternal being. I'm an eternal servant of God. Why should I go on taking more and more temporary bodies, temporary identifications, misidentifying, life after life, misidentifying what is the actual, misidentifying diamonds for rocks and rocks for diamonds. Krishna's the diamond, but we're misidentifying that. We're thinking that so many little pebbles here are the diamonds and we're chasing them life after life, but they're not actually, they're not actually satisfying us in any way. We're just suffering. So, yeah, the man who's in knowledge, he can distinguish between God's superior and inferior natures, between his spiritual nature and his external energy. And his external energy, external manifestation of the Lord consists of 8 elements primarily. And the living entities, that's in the conditioned state, we're just trying to enjoy combinations of those 8 elements and investing our love in dead, inert matter. And we're thinking that, okay, if I keep doing that, if I keep doing it, maybe this time, maybe this time, maybe this time, I'll find what I'm looking for. But it's just frustration. And it's leading to all kinds of dreadful scenarios, which can just be avoided if we sincerely seek out, proper guidance, spiritual master, devotees, have a sincere desire to actually want to know, okay, there's something, life just can't be this, there's something more. If we have that sincere desire, then gradually Krishna will reciprocate, because Krishna is always reciprocating with our desires accordingly. It's actually amazing. All desires that all living entities have, Krishna is reciprocating with them and fulfilling them. So many nice, creative ways, especially for the devotees, or people trying to take to devotional service. I've got so many material desires, and a lot of them Krishna is fulfilling, but in ways that are so clever that only he knows. We were hearing the other day that Krishna, he gives the material desire, but he also gives himself too. In that way, gradually we can shift over superior desire. Let me just hear about the Lord. I just want the Lord. I want to hear about the Lord. That's it. No other engagements, no other desires. Okay, text 39. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. Everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the unmovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. Text 40. Almighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. As stated in the Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways, there is no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not all the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply a few examples are being described to Arjuna to pacify his inquisitiveness. Krishna is anadir. He's unlimited. He's endless. All of his energies are also unlimited. Therefore, it's quite natural that we're either completely envious of Krishna, or we've come to the platform where we appreciate him. And this material world, it's the living entities in the material world, they're all very much envious of Krishna. And they're very much after all of these things. They want to actually be unlimited in all of these opulences. And we try very hard, living entities here try very hard to acquire unlimited amounts of these opulences, wealth, power, constantly day after day, working with no real end goal in mind, just that they want to keep increasing wealth, power, knowledge. But what is it doing? It's not really doing anything. It's not satisfying. It's just creating disturbances. Just like so many personalities we hear about, Ravana, Hiranyakashipu. So many personalities spent exerted so much effort and so much hard work to attain these great positions where they could dethrone all the demigods in the universe. But to what avail? Because they get struck down in the end by the Lord. Because the Lord is actually unlimited. Whereas we may have great amounts of these things, but it will always be a temporary scenario for us. Therefore, we can't go on enjoying them unlimitedly. So, but we can go on enjoying, relishing devotional service unlimitedly and hearing about the glories of the Lord, chanting the glories of the Lord. Forward text 41. Know that all beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence. Whether it be in the spiritual or material world, anything extraordinarily opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. Yeah, so we hear Krishna saying, I am of wielder of weapons, I am Rama. Well, that's not a great example because Rama is also the personality of God. But yes, the opulences that are found in the material world are but a spark of Krishna's splendor. So in ignorance, trying to chase these things, I mean, we're actually searching for the satisfaction that comes with having a relationship with the person who actually owns all of these things. And that's the real position. And that's actually the satisfying position. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire material universes by his entering into all things as the Supersoul. The Lord here tells Arjuna that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulent. You should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as Supersoul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant. All are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. Worship of demigods is discouraged herein because even the greatest demigods, like Brahma and Shiva, only represent part of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everyone born, and no one is greater than him. He is Samata, which means that no one is superior to him and that no one is equal to him. In the Vishnu mantra, it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord, Krishna, in the same category with the demigods, be they even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the Supersoul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotees, therefore, concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in a transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 to 11. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can attain the highest devotional perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Thus end the Bhakti-Vedanta purports to the 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad-gita in the matter of the opulence of the Absolute. Yes, Prabhu. Time? You got a question or? Okay. Okay, thank you, devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Bhagavad-gita Ki Jai.